Today we are going to do our first poem of class 12th, Flamingo. The name of the chapter is My Mother at 66. It is composed by Kamla Das. The quality of this poem is it's a short verse without a full stop. The summary of the poem is like this. The poet is on the way to Cochin airport along with her mother, who is quite old now, and seeing her dull face, all of a sudden the poet feels that she is very close to her death. At the end of the poem, the poet realizes that fear of death does not come with aging, but remains with one from the childhood. In this poem, she stresses on the mother-daughter relationship. The poet also tries to hide her feeling from her mother, which we can find at the end of the poem, where she has repeated the line, and I smiled, smiled, and smiled. So this repetition here is telling about her fake smile is not real. The poet uses a number of figures of speech like simile, repetition, personification. The poem is free verse without any rhyme scheme. Thank you. Welcome, my dear students. So in my previous video I taught you the summary of the poem, and now My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das, class 12th poetry. I'm going to explain the whole poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin, last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Here the poet says that she is going to airport. She is in her car, and on the seat of car her mother is also sitting beside. Doze open mouth, her face ashen. Doze here means sleeping, and her mouth is open. Her face is ashen. Ashen here means very pale. So the poet here observes her mother's face like that of a corpse, and she compares her mother's face with a corpse, dead body. And this is a very painful situation for her, that her mother is getting older. She looked, but soon she tried to put that thought away. That thought was painful for her. It was telling her about separation. So she looked out at the trees sprinting, young trees sprinting. Outside the window, she could see the young trees are running fast. That's the illusion, because the car was running fast, and the merry children were spilling out. Here I would like to tell you that the trees cannot sprint, cannot run, so it is personification. And this line is also used here for the contrast. to show that the trees are sprinting, running very fast, like the mother is aging, and the happy children, the youth, that is rushing out of their homes to play. But after the airport security check, and then she goes for the security check at the airport. Standing a few yards away, the poet once again looked at her mother's face, which was one means pale, exhausted, and she has once again, in a very beautiful way, tried to use one more figure of speech, simile, late winter's moon. Here, late winter's moon refers to late winter's hazy, dull, and strengthless moon. So here again there is a comparison between her mother's face and dull moon. At this point, once again, that same familiar pain of separation of childhood, that same pain she feels. Here F, fear, and F and familiar, both are repeated, so alliteration. But just to avoid all those things and not to show her real emotions, she smiles and says, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile, and this repetition of a smile and a smile and a smile is just to show her fake behavior, because she was trying to hide her emotions. Thank you. My dear students, so we have completed the chapter My Mother at 66, and now this is time to discuss the question answers. First of all, we have 5 textbook questions that we will discuss. First question is, what is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? So I have already written some hints: pain of aging, pain of separation, and pain of death. So by using these points you can write its answer. Next question is, why are the young trees described as sprinting? The hints are, due to speed of car, the trees seem to be running fast, and that's why they are called as sprinting. This personification, as I told you earlier, and it is also showing contrast. Next question is, why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? So the hints are to show contrast between aging mother and lively children. As the mother is very close to death, she is old, her face is pale, wan, and the children, they are lively, they are enjoying their life, they are coming out of their houses. So thus, to show this contrast between the mother and the lively children, the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes is brought by the poet. Question number 4. Why has the mother been compared to the late winter's moon? So just like late winter's moon looks dull, hazy, and faint, similarly the mother face also has shrunken and lost shine and strength. The last question is, what do the parting words of the poet and her smile signify? So the parting words, "See you soon, Amma," that is repeated. This repetition is at one time it is showing the fake smile, at the same time it is that assurance and attempt to overcome the pain and fear of her heart, which she is actually thinking that maybe in future she would be able to meet her mother, she would be alive or not. So these questions you have to try in your notebooks, and the 2 questions which I have given at the end, this is actually extra questions that you will do without my help. The questions are, how does Kamala Das try to put away the thoughts of her aging mother? And question number 2 is, what were the poet's feelings at the airport? How did she hide them? Hope you will complete these 2 questions along with the 5 questions of textbook in your notebook, and it will be done regularly in your notebooks. Okay, thank you.